Once upon a time, in a quiet village called Oja, surrounded by thick forests and tall palm trees, there lived a poor little boy named Obinna. He was only 12 years old, but life had already made him strong. Obinna lived with his mother in a small mud hut at the edge of the village. His father had died many years before, and his mother sold roasted corn in the market to feed them. Even though they were poor, his mother always taught him kindness and honesty. But one terrible season, sickness entered their home. Obinna's mother became very weak. She could no longer walk to the market. Day after day, she lay on a raffia mat coughing and breathing heavily. The village healer tried herbs. The women prayed, but nothing worked. Soon, hunger entered the house too. At night, Obinna would sit outside their hut and cry quietly so his mother would not hear him. One morning, his mother held his hand weakly. "Obinna," she whispered, "do not let sadness destroy your heart. One day, goodness will reward you." The boy nodded, though fear filled his chest. The day he entered the bush the next afternoon, after fetching water from the stream, Obinna walked toward the great bush beyond the farms. Normally, children were warned not to wander there because strange things were said to live deep inside the forest. But Obinna only wanted to escape his worries for a little while. He carried a small carved stick and pretended he was a hunter chasing imaginary animals. Birds sang above him while dry leaves cracked beneath his feet. As he walked deeper into the bush, he suddenly heard a faint voice. "Help me, please." Obinna stopped. He looked around, but saw nobody. Again, the voice cried softly, "Please, help me." Carefully, he followed the sound until he reached a small muddy pit beneath a giant irako tree. Inside the pit was a strange tortoise. But this was no ordinary tortoise. Its shell glowed like gold under the sunlight, covered with beautiful markings that shimmered like stars. The tortoise was trapped beneath fallen branches. Obinna quickly dropped his stick and removed the heavy wood one by one. When the tortoise was finally free, it slowly climbed out and looked directly into the boy's eyes. Then something unbelievable happened. The tortoise spoke. "You have a good heart, Obinna." The boy jumped backward in fear. You can talk?" The tortoise nodded slowly. "You have a good heart, Obinna." The boy jumped backward in fear. You can talk?" The tortoise nodded slowly. "Yes, and because you helped me when others would have run away, I will help you too." Obinna trembled. He had heard stories of magical spirits in the bush, but never believed them. The tortoise continued, "I know about your mother's sickness." Tears filled the boy's eyes immediately. "Please," Obinna begged, "save her. She is all I have." The tortoise closed its eyes and touched the ground with its tiny foot. Suddenly, a bright leaf appeared beside it. The leaf glowed green like emerald. "Boil this leaf in water before moonrise," said the tortoise. "Let your mother drink it. But remember, magic only works for those with a pure heart." Obinna thanked the tortoise again and again before running home as fast as he could. The miracle at night that evening. Obinna boiled the magical leaf in a clay pot. A sweet smell filled the hut. His mother was too weak to even sit up, so he gently lifted her head and helped her drink the liquid. For a moment, nothing happened. Then suddenly, a warm golden light surrounded her body. The coughing stopped. Her breathing became calm. Slowly, she opened her eyes. Strength returned to her face little by little. "Obinna," she whispered in shock. "I feel better." The boy burst into tears of joy and hugged her tightly. By morning, his mother could stand again. Within 3 days, she was completely healed. The villagers were amazed. People began whispering, "A miracle has happened. Perhaps the spirits favor the boy." But Obinna kept the secret of the magical tortoise. The news reaches the king far away in the royal palace. The king heard rumors about the mysterious healing. Now, this king loved wonders and magic more than anything else. So he sent royal guards to bring Obinna before him. The boy was frightened when soldiers arrived at his hut, but his mother smiled proudly. "Go," she said. "Truth and goodness will protect you." At the palace, The king sat upon a grand throne decorated with ivory and bronze. "So," the king said, staring at the small boy, "I hear you possess powerful magic." Obina bowed respectfully. "I only helped someone in need, Your Majesty." The king laughed loudly. "Then show me this magic. If you succeed, I shall reward you greatly. But if you fail, you will be punished for lying to the crown." Fear gripped Obina's heart. He had no magic of his own. That night, while sitting sadly outside the palace, he suddenly heard a familiar voice behind him. "You are not alone." It was the magical tortoise. The creature slowly crawled beside him. "Tomorrow," said the tortoise, "do exactly as I tell you." The magic before the king the next morning. The entire kingdom gathered in the palace courtyard. Drummers played loudly. Dancers spun in colorful clothes. Everyone waited to see the poor village boy perform magic before the king. Obina stepped forward nervously. The king crossed his arms. "Well?" he demanded. Obina remembered the tortoise's instructions. He picked up an empty calabash bowl and placed it on the ground. Then he whispered softly, "Kindness gives birth to wonders." Suddenly, wind rushed through the courtyard. The calabash began to shake. To everyone's shock, bright yams, fruits, and bags of grain started pouring out of the empty bowl endlessly. The crowd screamed in amazement. Even the king stood up in disbelief. Then Obina raised his hands again. At once, dry flowers around the palace burst into bloom. Birds circled the sky. The palace fountain sparkled with golden light. The people shouted, "Magic! Wonderful! The spirits walk with the boy." The king was deeply amazed. But what happened next shocked everyone even more. Obina bowed before the king and said, "Your Majesty, true magic is not power. True magic is kindness." The entire courtyard became silent. The king lowered his head slowly, realizing the wisdom in the boy's words. The king rewarded Obina and his mother with a beautiful new home, fertile farmland, and many servants. But Obina never became proud. Instead, he used his blessings to help hungry families and care for sick villagers. As for the magical tortoise, it disappeared back into the deep forest and was never seen again. Yet the elders say that sometimes, deep in the Nigerian bush, a golden shell can still be seen glowing beneath the moonlight, waiting for another kind heart. Moral of the story: kindness brings blessings, and a pure heart is greater than riches or power.